1968 was a good year, but we're not talking about 1968 today. Today we're talking about 2017. What a year for films it has been. You know what? It's just you and me. Why don't you pour yourself a cup of coffee, maybe wine, whatever, man. You can have a Coke, and we'll talk about the top 10 films of the year. My personal top 10. Like, don't yell at me if you don't like what I picked. This is just the movies I liked. And I'm sorry, there are certain films I haven't seen. These ones, I haven't seen those movies. They're in everybody's top 10, and I'm sorry. I live in New Zealand. We don't have the rights to movies yet. I don't know. I haven't seen these movies, and I'm sorry. Yes, we'll begin with number 10, and that's going to Thor Ragnarok, which is the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point in time. Thor was kind of a character that was sort of not everyone's favourite, and this movie was the shot in the arm he needed. They chuck him on a planet in a gladiator pit, he has to face off against Hulk, and I thought it was brilliant. It's a lot of laughs, like Taika Waititi just gives us so much good comedy here, good writing. It's that real Kiwi flair to it. If you're a Kiwi, you'll love it, even if you don't watch all the Marvel films. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, it's just fucking Loki and Thor, they're great together, so.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him! Oh, classic.
My number 9 film in my top 10 is Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's latest epic. This film defines nail-biting. His films are usually quite intense, but this movie, I was on the edge of my seat. There's 3 plot lines, they're intertwined, but they don't play out in the order you expect. Nolan couldn't help himself. Yeah, I just think it's a really intense film. It's kind of like more of an experience than a movie. It's definitely like up there with Gravity. That's a similar type of movie where you just tense the whole time and doesn't feel like a movie. It's like a motion master ride almost. It has some of the best sound design in the industry, and you never really feel like you get a moment to catch your breath until the very end of the film. I really hope Chris Nolan gets some recognition for it this time because he really wants an Oscar. It'd be nice if he's up for Best Director this time, so we'll see in a few months. The next film on my list is the latest Pixar, Coco. Another great instant classic by Pixar. Just full of bright, colourful characters, a really good story with a really good message at the end of it, and man, those last 10 minutes, gut-wrenching. The twist I kind of saw coming, so I halfway through the film I was like, oh no. The film, if you don't know, follows a young boy, Miguel, wants to be a musician, his family disobeys it, and he ends up getting lost in the land of the dead. And yeah, it's a holiday I don't really know a lot about, so I watched it and I was actually really intrigued learning all these cool things, and I was like, man, it's a neat idea for a holiday. Like I said, another instant classic by Pixar, so you should definitely check it out.
Never forget how much your family loves you.
My next film I liked was a little anime film called A Silent Voice. The film follows a young boy at school, and a young student comes in and she's deaf. The boy kind of starting to bully her, and it gets a bit out of control until she has to leave the school, and then the tables turn and everyone starts to bully him. And it sort of shows his struggles and how he tries to redeem himself and can contemplate suicide. Yeah, it gets there. It's got a bit of a hopeful message, but yeah, bring your tissues. It's heavier topics. They have a very creative way of showing it, like social anxiety, which you couldn't really do in live action, but it works quite well in this film. And it's a topic that doesn't really get a lot of attention. I'm kind of glad there's a film about it. It's a film I think a lot of people should see because it's some messages that it's kind of a good way to describe how people feel in that position. It's got some good characters in it, and yeah, like I said, bring some tissues because yeah, it gets pretty deep, but that's definitely a good one.
ちなみに西宮、俺はさ。
My number 6 is a big film, probably one of the most talked about films of the year. Get Out! Jordan Peele's directorial debut, and it's a knockout of the park, seriously. This guy knows how to direct. It's sort of like harkens back to Alfred Hitchcock style thrillers. I won't tell you anything about it because it's a movie you just really need to go into blind and just experience for yourself. But yeah, some great acting, great tension, and yeah, overall great directing. Hey, Get Out! Go see it! Next on my list is the latest Edgar Wright film, Baby Driver. This film is so well crafted, it's just brilliantly edited. Like every piece of this movie, there's a place for it, you know? Everything ties together perfectly, and it's just, there's no shot that doesn't need to be there. I love the soundtrack for the film, just everything works together. I've said that already. I'm repeating myself. I do that when I'm by myself. I've got no one to talk to. The main actor's really good. The trailers gave me the impression that he's just gonna be a stoic guy, but he's actually got a lot of depth to him. And it's a movie that sort of concludes and then keeps going. The third act just keeps escalating. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Check out Baby Driver. And also check out Edgar Wright's other work. Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, Scott Pilgrim. They're all great. World's End sucks.
That's some Oscar shit right there.
6 down, 4 to go. How you doing? Great. All right. Next on my list, Disaster Artist. If you want my full opinion, watch the review. I did a review on it with Sanjay. It's great. So I'm not going to say anything else on it. Just that I loved it. Great underdog story. Great acting. James Franco, career-defining performance. He is just so good. Check it out.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Sorry, I was trying to do the score to Blade Runner 2049, which is my number 3 film on this list. I recently watched Blade Runner, and I liked it. It was cool. And I saw 49 the next day, and my God, this is an example of a good sequel. You know, just adds more to the original and is arguably better. I personally think it was. I thought it was a great mystery. Ryan Gosling is so good. I didn't think he was that good of an actor, but he really did a lot with this character. Cinematography, I don't need to talk about it. Just look at any picture of this film, and woo, I could put them all on my wall. Just go to my place, put up pictures of Blade Runner up, and everyone be like, nice place we got here. It's a good movie. It must be. It's number 3. My number 2 favorite film of the year is another anime film called Your Name. I initially thought, oh God, this looks like one of those anime romances. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that one. And I did. And then I saw some reviews and it was like, oh, this might be quite good. And I'm very glad I watched it. This movie is amazing, guys. I recommend everybody watch it. It's about 2 teenagers living in Japan, and every now and then they swap bodies. They don't realize it's happening at first, and it's, oh, Freaky Friday, body swap, comedy, ha. And that's literally the first part of the movie, and then there's a plot twist, and it changes the whole course of the film. It brings in some of my favorite film genres in ways I didn't expect. And yeah, I know how earlier I was talking about Dunkirk. It's like, that was an intense movie. The ending of this movie, you don't know when it's gonna end. I was in the cinema just dreading it, because I was like, this is gonna be the end, and it keeps going, okay. Oh, now it's gonna end, oh Jesus! And then he gets to the last part, you're like, not now, fuck! And it just keeps happening, and it makes it so intense. And I've made everybody watch this movie. It's like considered the new Spirited Away. It was a huge, big blockbuster in Japan, won a bunch of awards, and yeah, I recommend everybody watch it. J.J. Abrams is doing an American adaptation. It might be cool, but I'll be confused to see how they incorporate some of the spiritual elements, but anyway, Your Name, check it out, it's a blast. And here we are at number 1. First, honorable mentions. It was very good, I enjoyed it, pretty scary. Star Wars The Last Jedi, a lot of people didn't like it, and it didn't make my top 10, but I still personally enjoyed it. Watch my review, it's worth discussing, guys. Lego Batman, everyone forgot about it, came out in February, really good satire film. Spider-Man Homecoming was almost in my top 10. I just liked Thor Ragnarok a bit more. Wonder Woman returned to form for DC, but then Justice League happened, so. And then War for the Planet of the Apes. I gave that a 9 in my review, and I still really like it. A perfect ending for a great trilogy. And now my number 1. My number 1 favorite film of the year is Logan. This movie, it was everything I wanted in a Wolverine film. Using the claws, just going full out berserker mode was just, oh, it was amazing. It was orgasmic for me. Finally to get that R16 Wolverine film. But it was just such a personal story, you know? It wasn't a big blockbuster end of world saga. It was just a simple road trip, and I really liked that. This movie kind of, for me, feels like what Unforgiven felt like for the Western. It was like the last time. They brought Clint Eastwood back and it was like, this is the kind of swan song. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine was kind of like the first poster boy for the superhero genre. And this movie feels like the final superhero film, for me. I know they're still going to do Avengers, and I don't know how long it will last for, but for me, I feel like this is the climax. Well shot, acting's great, Patrick Stewart is also amazing. And yeah, I said this for Disaster Artist, and I'll say this again. I feel like when people look back on 2017, they'll think, that was Logan, eh? That was the year Logan came out. That was a good movie.
I would find a way.
Logan, you still have time.
Woo! And that's it for 2017, folks. Thank you for watching my review, sorry, wine. Thank you for watching me talk about movies for the last couple of minutes. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you agree with me. If you don't, let me know. Bring it on, bitch. And if there's a few movies I talked about you haven't seen, go check them out, because they're pretty good. And once again, I'm sorry I didn't include some of those films like Lady Bird, because I just haven't seen them yet, and I'm sure they're amazing, and I'm sure they're going to win all the Oscars. But these are just the movies I liked this year, and I was the only one available to do this. Yeah, thanks guys, and like and subscribe, you know the drill, and have a great 2018. Hopefully the movies this year are just as good.